Hey everybody, welcome to So with Joe. Today we're picking up where we left off last time, putting a stopping doesn't get you anywhere patch on the butt of my 20-plus-year-old jeans. Let's get at it. Thread's already in there. Already partway through a stitch. Let's finish that stitch off. So, positive world news for today. The other episode, we talked about a jet flight that was ran on hydrogen and carbon. And today, this is news out of American Airlines. They have done a flight ran solely on a new jet fuel that's made from corn cobs and corn stalks. So all the leftover stuff that would usually get fed to animals or go to waste, they can now use as a jet fuel. Now, the reason we're even talking about this, since there's another jet fuel that runs off of hydrogen from water and carbon from carbon emissions. Check out the other episode if you're interested in hearing about that one. This one is compatible with present-day fuel systems, so there's no infrastructure change needed. All you'd have to do is switch over from jet fuel to this corn-based product. I didn't catch the name of the product, but the company is called Virent, V-I-R-E-N-T. So if you're interested in more information, check that out. The corn-based fuel also gives off 50% fewer emissions. So not only is it made from a more renewable resource, it also is a lot easier on the environment. Like I say, not quite as environmentally friendly maybe as the other form of jet fuel. We're very easily integrated into the current system, and that's massively important, because then it's immediately usable by everyone. So not like the EV change that's going in the world right now, where everyone has to put in vehicle plugs, and you already be picking on a very fragile electrical system. So something that is just plug and play like this, I can see where that would be very, very appealing. Everybody likes easy. And if easy can be environmentally friendly, then you got a winner.
Coffee.
So now with the testing out of the way, they say that this product could be available within the next few months. The thing that I enjoy hearing about most is when people can take waste products like that and make something useful out of them. And that's what they're doing over in the UK right now. In the UK, they have some invasive species there that they spend a lot of time trying to control. And the two species in particular that we're talking about today are the Japanese knotweed, which has no predators in the UK and apparently eats up cement. So if it starts growing on the edge of a concrete patch, it'll just tear it right up. Can't have that. So what they do is when they remove this knotweed and need to dispose of it, is they incinerate it, and then the ash from the incineration, because of policy, that has to be basically packaged and discarded. So all the ashes from all these weeds from all across the UK have to be packaged up before they're thrown out, so it doesn't spread, I guess. The other invasive species there is the American signal crayfish, and they come in and take over the waterways. What the crayfish do is they it's called undercutting. It's when they eat the river banks away from underneath and then collapse in. So it basically destroys the riverways. So those crayfish have to be removed, and their shells have to be packaged up and disposed of as per regulations. So what this company does is they take the ash and the crayfish shells, and they take the crayfish shells and they crush them to a powder, and they will use those waste byproducts of invasive species as filler material in concrete rather than using sand. So, what are the advantages of this? Well, first off, you're not wasting all of the money packaging up and product and plastic probably, packaging up all these pieces of pests. And rather than having these things sitting in the landfill and leaching whatever their packaging is into the environment, they're being used. Make sure you keep these blanket stitches tight. They can loosen up on you if you're not careful. Give it a little tug in between each one. Give it a little tug. Tuggy tug. Reminds me of the song from that the movie Hangover. When the school teacher there is playing the piano, singing his Doug song. Every time I hear like Tuggy Tug or anything like that, it's like Dougie Dougie Doug Doug. I can't remember how the song goes. I know some of the lyrics. I don't know it off by heart, so I'm not going to start singing it. Don't worry. Coffee. Cheers. One other big advantage there is that the sand doesn't have to be mined, I guess is what they call it, sand mining. I live around gravel pits. I've never really considered gravel pits as mining operations. I guess, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So it reduces the carbon emission or carbon footprint of the concrete. In normal concrete, it produces 0.6 of a ton of CO2 per ton of sand. So that's significant. And if we can reduce the usage of sand, then we can help save the environment, save the ozone. I hear the ozone's replenishing itself too. I didn't know that we were catching up in that area. I thought that was still going backwards. That's massive. I'll have to find an article on that, and yeah. Oops. That's one thing that I think that people are doing more, but I believe that people still need to very consciously do this more, and that is reusing or fixing of old items, because the manufacturing process just causes so much waste. If we can have people having more jobs recovering these resources from waste rather than manufacturing new from the earth, we can save a lot. Reduce, reuse, recycle. If we can reduce what we take out of the earth, that means there'll be more there later. There. So going back to the jet fuel, I think that with these patches I kind of like to leave the corners open. I don't know why. I'll just go close to the corner, tie off, and then start new. And it's sorry, it's not efficient. It's just one of those things that I do. I don't know why. Some things I just don't know why. Tie off on this end. And since I'm running low on white thread, and I don't like wasting thread, tie this off. I think I'm just going to pin this far corner in place with this thread. Oh, actually, I have a little bit to do here, so maybe I'll do that. Start at the end, work my way back in for a stitch or two. Oh, it's a coffee morning this morning. It's decaf, so you drink and drink and drink all you want and still don't really wake up. Though on some level I think it does, because your body gets so accustomed to when you drink something that tastes a certain way that these things happen. You wake up. Caffeine perks you up. Yeah, perks you up. So, you know, I don't think it's, a lot of people ask, oh, why do you drink decaf? Well, it's A, I miss the taste of coffee, and B, it still does have some of that effect, that get you going in the morning effect. Okay, a couple stitches in this end to get this corner, and then we will tie off here, tie off here. Oh yeah, so with the jet fuel, I think I'd started a thought earlier and completely abandoned it. I think the way it'll go if, you know, if nothing else huge comes along, is they'll start with this corn-based fuel. Because they already use like corn-based fuel. I think it's the ethanol in gasoline, regular gasoline. So I think that's going to be implemented first. The only thing I worry about is if it is like ethanol for vehicles, is that it does bad things to your fuel system because it absorbs water. I suppose in the case of jet fuel, because you're burning it all off immediately, it might not be that bad of a thing because it doesn't have time to sit around and collect that water. I guess we'll see what the safety numbers look like after a few years. Well, didn't get quite as far as I thought I would today. That's usually the case with sewing. Yeah, it's the case for pretty much everything in my life, I think, is that it takes longer than I expect it to. And I'm finding that when something doesn't meet my expectations, I tend to react more than if it was just something that happened but I wasn't expecting anything more or anything different, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate the time we get to spend together. Next time we'll carry on with the stopping doesn't get you anywhere patch, because if we stopped, it wouldn't get us anywhere. So we will continue. And yeah, thanks a lot for spending the time with me. Really appreciate it. And till next time, keep chilling. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.